What's up, everybody out there in YouTube land? Welcome back to the channel. Work Hard Elswick. Well, I guess I ain't been out in the garage for a while, but well, actually, I've been out in the garage a lot. I live out here, but you guys kind of haven't been with me because I haven't been shooting too many videos. So I'm about to change all that. Let me show you what's new and what's changed since the last video I shot. All right, check this out, y'all. So that is not a turbo diesel. That is a 2.0 liter turbocharged. See the turbo back there? Volkswagen Audi engine. And it is in a Volkswagen R. Check that out. So this is the new ride I've been messing around with here the last little bit. So right now, I got the battery out. The battery box is out, sitting on the table over there. Cold air intake's out, laying over there. And we got a bunch of Go Fast parts here that I'm changing out on this thing. So ended up picking up something to drive, and I think I made mention of it in some of my other videos, but I don't want to drive my truck and keep stacking the miles up on it. It's a 2019 Ram 3500 for y'all that haven't seen it. It's lifted. Here, I'll show it to you. We ended up getting another pickup truck too, and I haven't had much time to do much with it yet. But I still got both the Rams. There's a 1500. There's a 3500. And I also picked this thing up. Check this out. This is pretty slick. This thing's solid. It's kind of dirty now. Needs to be cleaned up. No rust. 1979 Custom Deluxe C10 Classic. Check this out. Check this interior out. But this thing is rust-free. Frame solid on it. Body solid on it. Needs a little bit of work. But it's a very, very solid truck for the year that it is. And I believe it's a Texas truck. So, yeah, that's what we've been working on. I'm thinking lowered and airbags for the C10. I'm not sure, but those will be videos to come. That's what we've been working with. All right, let me show you what I'm doing right now. All right, here you go, guys. So this is what I've been working on. So I didn't mention this is a Golf R, a 2019 Golf R, 6-speed manual, 2.0 liter turbo. I don't know, about 288 horsepower, 289 on the torque. So we're gonna see if we can't change that a little bit. It does have the, I believe it's the AMS. You're gonna have to forgive me. Yeah, AMS. There it is. There, all carbon fiber, real carbon fiber too, not that fake stuff. Cold air intake. That was on the car already when I purchased it. And we're just going to change out a couple routine things here. First of all, this is a turbo muffler So it makes the turbo really, really quiet in this car. This is the turbo muffler delete from ECS. Not too bad. I think they ran about 60 bucks or so. We have an updated diverter valve over here and a blow-off valve that go together, which this is, I think, D. So D plus. The old diverter valves, I think the latest and greatest before the D was the G. And these are supposed to be better. So we'll see about that. And this stuff is for the trans. So this is the short shift kit. So this stuff here, this kit here, and I can show you on the car where it's at, is basically to help the forward and aft. So it makes it the movement forward and aft when you're shifting less, makes it a lot tighter. And this is your side-to-side play for your shift there, and also hooks up to for your reverse, so you don't have to. So in this car, when you go to put it over in reverse, you got to push down all the way to the left and up, and that's your reverse there. So, and that's just some tooling that I picked up that helps you depin connectors and stuff. That stuff's just, I don't really need it for this, but it's just good to have stuff like that. So I'll just throw that in the toolbox in case I ever need to depin any of the connectors or anything on this thing. So I have already installed a Red Tiger camera system in this car, and I've been testing it out. So it's the dash cam. I didn't really get a chance to video it. I didn't have much time to get it in, but I ended up getting the camera installed up there in the windshield, and it's actually got a forward-facing camera as well. This thing's kind of dirty. It needs a bath. I've been driving it back and forth to work, and it's kind of hard to see through there, but it's sitting right in there in the glass. So the camera system's been working awesome in it for sure. I really dig it. And it's better than using a GoPro and constantly having to delete and you know, your SD card in the GoPro. So this one will just keep taping over itself. If something happens, you can go in and pull the video right to your phone. But at any rate, so this is where we're at. This is all the shifter stuff that's getting ready to be changed. This is the forward and aft movement here. I kind of got this loose already. It was kind of corroded, sitting in there with water on it. So I sprayed some penetrating oil in there. And then this exhaust, why I keep saying exhaust, it's the intake. This delete pipe for the turbo goes right back into there, which is why I had to pull the battery and the box and everything out so I could get access to it. So that is what I'm doing today. That is what I'm doing right now, and I'll show you guys what I got. All right, I'm gonna try not to bore you guys too much. I'm gonna fast forward through most of this stuff. We'll get some tunes going or whatever. But I got you up on a tripod now, and I got my headphones on so I can walk around the garage and you can still hear what I'm saying. But we're gonna go ahead and get this this delete pipe installed. All right, she's in. All right, she's in here. So you can see her down there. And I'll point a finger at her. It's that black tube right in front of, or the black piece right in front of the tube here that's running. And now we got to get the hose back on it. So that should be fairly easy. And that thing is done. All nice and tight. So the next thing, we're going to pull the diverter valve out and see what's up with that. See what it's going to take to change it. Got the diverter valve off the car. So here's the standard diverter valve. All right. And then this is the DVX Plus. This one actually has a blow-off valve to give us that nice whoosh sound, right? I don't know, I've always liked that. So basically what we got to do is we got to pull this apart and put the guts, the new guts, we got springs, new plunger and whatnot here, and put it back in here so we can put it back on the car. So this is actually going to go, the blowout valve will go in the car where the diverter valve came out, and the diverter valve itself is going to get remounted to a remote location inside the car. So not too hard. This is your stock plunger. I'm going to put that aside. You got your stock spring. Put that aside because you're not going to reuse any of this. And then you got the stock seal here. That comes off. Yellow O-ring you want to leave. And then basically you just put it back together. It tells you to put a little bit of oil on that plunger, that new plunger, a little bit of engine oil. So your stock or your upgraded spring goes in, and then you got your upgraded plunger there. Let me get a little bit of Earl. I don't think it really matters what kind. I keep an oil change for all my vehicles on my shelf in the garage, so we'll just use a little bit of this on my finger. I want to make sure this plunger is going to be able to move up and down really nice inside there. Ooh, that's probably too much, but hey, what do I know? So put a little oil on there. It's a little excessive. There we go. Wipe a little bit of that off. Set your new plunger down in there. Make sure it moves nice and easy once it's in there, right? All right. Well, it comes with a hose too. So you got to vent the two. It's a vacuum hose. So you got a little pin on this. I don't know if that's easy to see right there by my finger. That's going to fit in a little hole on the side of this block. So you want to make sure your plunger goes right into the center of that thing, and then just line it up and get that plunger or that little deal down in that hole, and just like that, and it'll hold itself together. And then you can take the screws. I'm going to use the new ones because I got the old ones here. Those are going to be used to put your blowout valve on. So I'm going to take these new 5mm screws. The short ones, obviously, because that long one's too long. That's what's going to be used to mount it to the car. Like I said, this piece will be getting mounted remotely now. And we're just going to snug this thing up. And then tighten it down, so we don't want it falling apart. It ain't gotta be super duper tight. This old housing's plastic, and they just got metal inserts in the bolt holes there, so you're only gonna be able to tighten it so much anyway. All right, and that piece is done. So if you want to, you go ahead and press your hose on here now, because it would be a huge pain in the butt to do this once it's already on the car, because you don't have much access to it. So I'm going to get this hose pushed on, and then I'll show you where this stuff goes back on the car. All right, guys, here we are the next morning. Had to take the kid to practice and whatnot last night, and it got late on me. So there's your blowout valve right there. That's where the original diverter valve goes in. And then, like I was saying, the diverter valve gets moved out to a remote location, and he lives right down here now. So that's the top of the plug right there. I was a little concerned. I got the the turbo inlet pipe back on, which is this right here. And I thought I was going to be too tight there, but she's sitting okay. So I should be able to get the cold air intake and everything back on the way that it's supposed to fit. And then I went ahead this morning when I woke up and I got the short throw shifter put in there. I didn't get much video on that. Pretty simple, 13mm nut. Just a little clip that holds the post on there. That whole thing pops out, which is right here. This is the old one. It's kind of sitting in the car like that right now. Cable goes over there. A 13mm nut comes from there. You do actually have to lock this thing into neutral via the shifter inside the car. And this little L-shaped bracket right there. And then adjust your cables. And I believe I got it done right. Everything's good. Shifts into all the gears, including reverse correctly. So now all I got to do is get all the parts put back in here. And first up will be the battery tray. So I'm going to run a time lapse, get the battery tray put back in, get the battery locked back down into place, cables hooked back up, cold air intake put back on, and then we'll be able to fire this thing up and see what kind of difference we got. Don't know how much driving I'm going to get to do in it today because it's snowing. It's all-wheel drive. It should do good, but we'll see what it does. All right, guys, she's all back together as you just seen, and it's time to fire this thing up and take it for a ride. So let's do that. I'm really interested to see how that diverter valve and blowout valve sound on this thing. So let's do that. The diverter valve is actually, the blowout valve is actually adjustable. There's some adjustment here. So that's wide open now. So that'll be as loud as it gets. And then you can push that deal all the way down, which doesn't give you much room to pull it back up. And that'll quiet it down so it won't make as loud of a sound. So all right, we're gonna take this thing for a ride. I'll open that back up so we can hear it, and let's see what this thing sounds like now. Here we go. Clutch pedal feels a lot better now, man. The throw in the shifter is a lot better. Let's see what this thing will do. sound we get out of it. Got your seatbelt on? So we're gonna run up on this guy's ass quick. Definitely sounds a lot better. This thing is floating. Holy shit. The shift's way better in it. Obviously you can hear the blow off valve, I believe. I like it. I like it. The response is a lot better too on the throttle. It's what opening everything up and helping this thing breathe a little bit better does. And that guy in that pickup truck in front of us is flying. So it'll dump all that extra boost that you build up between shifts and make everything easier. That's why you hear it dumping like that. Put that blowout valve on there. So when I initially put the battery back in it, the car was going crazy. I forgot about that. I had to reset everything. Oh yeah. We're not even in race mode. This is like, what mode are we in right now? We're in normal mode. This thing's doing pretty good. Alright, I'd call that a success. Definitely sounds like a turbo car now. Alright, cool.